Hi, this is Tim Fembert with LeaderGov.
Hi, I'm Bill Stark. Good to be with you.
Yeah, we're glad to talk to you today about communicating your scorecard to your team and really getting traction with those high impact goals that you've set to get things done for your community. And today we're going to break down this communication idea with your team. And you know, Bill, it always boils down to those two things in leadership we talk about: success with results and success with people. And in this case, we're talking about success with people. Ultimately, that will lead to results. But today, we're talking about how we're going to communicate effectively to our team this scorecarding idea to kind of connect them to the result.
Yeah, so to back up just a little bit and do a refresher, among all of your day-to-day activities in local government, which are many, very often, in our experience, what we've observed from local governments is that you tend to, and you easily can, get inundated with details and tasks and minutia, what we might call managing status quo, customer citizen demands, these kind of things. And we actually are very thankful that you do this every day because you're keeping the wheels on the bus and you're doing what needs to be done. But in local government, as a leader, we have another purpose, and that is to set transformative goals for our teams. And so what Tim and I are talking about here today, we're going to get into the details in a moment, but at a high level, it's this idea of setting a large, transformative, high-impact goal. We call them HIGs, high-impact goals. And that high-impact goal probably has some sub-points to it, some milestones or some repeatable activities that we need to get very specific on. But we just want to encourage you first, this is a little bit of a review, to think about and to put time into developing that one big goal for your department. Once you have that, it's creating a scorecard, like a physical piece of paper, a poster board, a sign, a banner, somewhere in your team department so that everyone can have focus on that one big goal that's in front of you. So once you've done that, you're kind of teed up, you're ready, you know the goal, people are aligned to it, they see it, they're aware of it, you've got their attention, you've got their focus, which is awesome. Now what we're going to need to talk about is what's the cadence? How do we talk about that goal? So I want to mention one quick thing, and I'll let Tim share another idea. The big goal and the items that go below it, the milestones and the repeatable activities, need to be talked about on a regular basis. By regular basis, we mean probably every week. It doesn't have to be every week. It could be every second Wednesday of the month. It could be every other week, every other Friday, whatever you want. But we know that this scorecard in and of itself is a waste of time unless you talk about it in your team meetings on a regular basis. Now, how you talk about it is what Tim's going to share in just a minute, but you've got to have a set time every month, once or twice a month, to have these important conversations.
And here's the key. You got to have buy-in with your team on the scorecard idea. It just won't work if they're not bought in because someone has to update the scorecard. And ideally that happens before the meeting. If the scorecard can be updated on Friday and you're meeting on Monday and you know you're all looking at the most accurate and most up-to-date information, then you can be really efficient in the way you have this meeting and the way you communicate. Because what we want you focused on are the variances. Where have we fallen behind? Or maybe where we're ahead? Do we need to adjust our goal? And if you're having those kinds of conversations in your meeting, as opposed to just an update report, how many meetings have you been to, Bill, where we just spend the whole time talking about where are we on this project? You don't really ever get to what do we need to do? How can I resource you better as a leader to because you've fallen behind? And there may be great reasons why you've fallen behind. But that's what you need to be focused on in these team meetings where you're looking at that high impact goal, you're measuring these repeatable activities, and when we know we're behind or we're ahead and we need to make adjustments, that's what we need to be talking about. And that all is set up by doing the work in advance of the meeting so that when you're together, you have a really efficient conversation.
Yeah, in fact, you may find that because your employees might not be accustomed to having one big goal that they are accountable for. They might not be used to this. And if that's the case, they're probably going to come to you in this meeting and say, I realize we're behind, but I can't get us caught up because I've got these 8 other projects I'm working on. So you as a leader are going to have to be nimble, a little flexible, and make some decisions about resourcing. Okay, Bob, don't worry about those 3 projects that are due next week. I'll get someone else to do those. Does that free you up to then get this high impact goal up to date where we need it to be? That's the kind of conversation we want you to have with your team, because if this goal is truly transformational and if it's truly high impact, you're going to want to do everything you can to be sure that goal is met. And that means changing resources and looking at resources during the week to free your people up some.
Yeah, we really like this idea of you prioritizing and setting that one major priority. It kind of ties in with a high impact goal. And your team will know whether you're committed to it. If you get that buy-in on the front end, and then you're having these meetings, and they're really good, solid communicating meetings where we're focused on the challenges that we're having with each other, and you're helping your team achieve those repeatable activities and ultimately that high impact goal, you're really going to move the needle. And maybe most importantly, your team will be a part of it. They'll feel like they accomplished something together.
Yeah, I like, if you don't have a high impact goal, if you don't have a transformative goal right now for your team, and if you just can't think of one, get your team together and ask the simple question of your team. What's the number one thing that's holding us back from being successful delivering the service we're supposed to deliver? Just ask that one question. What is the number one thing that's holding us back from having exceptional service to the people that we care for and serve in our local government? And that's the kind of conversation starter that you can throw out to create that high impact goal, and then follow the process that we talked about here today.
We really appreciate your time on these videos, listening to these ideas of leadership. And if we can help you in any way in the area of professional development, we launch new leadership cohorts every month with small and large communities where we put them together and we really work through these concepts in a great amount of detail. Also retreats, and we facilitate retreats, and of course, strategic planning. So please let us know how we can help. You can find us on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. Also contact us at our website, LeaderGov.com. Until we talk again, thank you so much for your time.
Hope you have a great week.